Have you ever heard the expression, the phrase that never falls into debt is the root of all evil? That is slavery. And to some degree, you are right. Because your life is finished when you are in so much debt that you can't pay your bills. Because no one lends money for free, and there is always interest charged on loans. Your debts will continue to accrue even while you work to pay them off. This is because no one lends money without charging interest. In spite of everything, the United States has decided to take on more debt. The sum of all consumer debt in the United States is close to $15 trillion, and the national average for household debt is around $5,300. The gross domestic product of the United States is only a hair over $21 trillion, which indicates that the entirety of the economy is compromised of debt. However, I have some uplifting news for you. That isn't necessarily a negative thing. This view is not shared by many people due to the fact that the vast majority of our loans are considered to be unfavorable. You most likely have some outstanding balances on your credit cards. If you are thinking that it will take me decades to pay off all of these bills, you may be wondering how on earth it can be something beneficial. Perhaps you have a student debt or a car loan. Let's take a look at the ways in which people who already have a lot of money nevertheless rely on debt in order to make even more money, so that you can see how that might be a good thing. It may be counterintuitive, since one could question why someone with a lot of money would use debt in the first place, given that debt is typically utilized by those who are financially disadvantaged. Nevertheless, this is not how the capitalist system operates. If you understand how to put it to use, debt may be a really effective tool. Welcome to the Financial Flow. Please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up on our latest videos. Number 1. The majority of trade is founded on debts. It may sound contentious, but borrowing money to start a business is a terrible idea. And I would never do that. However, there are firms, particularly traditional businesses, who are utilizing that as their best alternative. Let's imagine you want to offer pets. This is a highly common product that is almost always in high demand. Ideally, you would fly to China to locate a facility that manufactures that type of pen at a reasonable price and with high quality. Then acquire a container of pens, transport them to the United States, and distribute them to your clientele. This is now primarily done online through websites like Alibaba, unless the goods is so complex that you must fly to the plant. However, there is a catch. You do not need to pay for the product to possess it. First, allow me to explain how. Over the past 50 years, China has become the world's factory, producing virtually everything. Thousands of factories labor non-stop to produce everything the world needs, and in order to make their products simpler to sell, the majority of these factories would gladly lend you their goods on the condition that you repay them in the future. Obviously, they would not lend to strangers, so you would need to establish some level of confidence with them first. However, this has been the standard corporate practice for the past 50 years. Once the client sells the goods in the United States or anywhere else in the world, he pays the plant and borrows additional products. Essentially, they are telling the factory, you already know how to produce it. Now, let me help you sell it. If I can sell it for more than this price, the difference will be my profit. The next advantage of this method is that you are not using your personal funds in this transaction. Selling is one of the most valuable talents you can ever acquire. Number 2. Refinancing. Real estate debt is most advantageous type of debt because it is riddled with exemptions. If you do not have a mortgage, you pay additional taxes. Rich individuals have many mortgages to qualify for all of these tax deductions. Remember, every dollar that you're meant to pay in taxes, but instead you say it's an extra dollar earned. This is another method that wealthy people get richer, but I'll give you a more practical example. This is how essentially wealthy individuals become wealthy in real estate. Suppose you have saved $200,000. That's a lot of money, but if we're being honest, it's not even enough to purchase a house. Obviously, you cannot qualify for a mortgage up to $800,000 because a 20% down payment is required. But here's the secret. If you find a house that costs $500,000, you can qualify for a mortgage. You go to a bank and obtain a mortgage with a 20% down payment if the home is in poor condition and requires significant or extensive repairs. Let's say you plan to spend approximately 10% of the overall cost of the home, or approximately $50,000 on renovations. You had to visit your bank once more, but this time to refinancing your mortgage. When you obtained your initial mortgage, the worth of the property was only $500,000 because no one wanted to live there. However, now that you have renovated it, there are individuals who want to rent it out. Thus, the property's market worth has increased to $70,000. Let's imagine you're getting a mortgage for the first time at 80%. But 80% of $700,000 equals to $560,000. The initial bank that issued you the original mortgage will receive $400,000, and after deducting the $50,000 you spent on renovations, you will be left with an additional profit of $110. You're left with a property that you can rent to grow equity and passive income, and because you have a mortgage, you also avoid paying taxes. This is typically a technique among real estate speculators. Number 3. Hedge funds. Hedge funds are created by the wealthy for the wealthy, to make the wealthy even wealthier, and they typically employ unpopular techniques. You and I do our best to anticipate which firms will develop and increase in value, and invest the money we work so hard to earn in the hopes that these companies will decline. In contrast, hedge funds frequently attempt to profit when companies fail or declare bankruptcy. However, the internet challenged hedge funds and caused them to lose nearly $13 billion. However, how do we hedge funds profit from debt? Let's say you expect a certain stock to decline, such as Facebook, because you know that Apple, the most popular smartphone manufacturer, so you pick up the phone and call your broker to borrow a single $100 Facebook stock so that you can immediately sell it on the open market. Congratulations, you now have $100, but you still owe your broker one Facebook share. If you are correct and the price of Facebook stock decreases to $70 the next week, use $100 to purchase one Facebook shares for $70. Return it to your broker and pocket the difference. Congratulations, you have earned $30 from the decline of a stock. This may sound simple in theory, but in practice, it is highly difficult and way too risky. Number 4. Forex. Forex is a market where currencies are traded. It facilitates international trade. The US dollar is accepted in China. To pay your staff, for example, in China, you must purchase Chinese yen. Therefore, there is a market where anyone or any corporation can purchase foreign currencies, which fluctuate based on several criteria. For instance, if the Fed increases interest rates, the supply of dollars on the market will be constrained, making the US dollar stronger against foreign currencies, or vice versa. If you could forecast which currencies will rise or fall, you might make a lot of money in this market. However, what makes these markets so unique is that you can borrow $100 for every dollar you use to trade in Forex. Therefore, if you trade $1,000, you can keep a position worth $100,000, and even a tiny profit of 1% will be enormous. Number 5. Credit score. As you can see, this is a potent instrument, and every successful business, organization, or entrepreneur uses it in a variety of ways, particularly if they have an established business plan. Almost every business borrows money to finance purchase orders, so stop assuming that all debt is bad. However, debt with high interest rates such as a credit card debt is indeed terrible. To obtain a lower interest rate, however, you must limit the risk associated with earning money. How do you accomplish this? You establish a reputation as a trustworthy borrower. There are billions if not trillions of dollars in banks waiting to be borrowed, and if there isn't enough, banks can generate money out of thin air. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Have a good one.